long enough introductions installing. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the call. This is great to see you. It's fun to have that you guys have got your cameras on, Tina and Linda, and please feel free to do that. We're probably going to have some, I think you've got slides, right, Kim? So you won't be showing all through the whole presentation, everybody, but it's nice in the beginning. So I'm just going to do a real brief introduction here because I know this is, let me just start by saying, fasten your seatbelt, because this is going to be fast. We're going to have fun. It's going to be fun, light, and easy, and you're going to get so much information. You're going to be taking so many notes. Trust that you're going to need the replay because you're going to end up re-listening to things again. Kim is just a wealth of information. She's really one of the premier experts on positive psychology in the world, and so this is a treat for us because she has created this tool that I know some of you are already using and are professionals with. And if you are, and if you love Positive Prime, please feel free to use the chat and pop in the chat like, you know, yeah, listen in, this is awesome and I love it. I love Positive Prime. Remember to use the drop-down box of everyone when you make posts, because this tool is the easiest way to supercharge your mantras. You know, if you want to train your brain in 3 minutes a day, especially the people where you feel like I can't really find a mantra where I don't kind of feel like I'm doubting it, or I you know, feel like maybe I'm lying to myself a little bit. Like, this is a way to really bypass a lot of that. And so we're going to talk to you, Kim primarily is going to talk to you about, you know, how you can make your mantras better, how you can manifest abundance in an easier way, and how to also use this tool in a more powerful way. And my job is going to be to interrupt her as often as I can and get clarification. and just, we'll make sure that together we get all of your questions answered. When you post something in the chat, just use the everyone, and I'm making notes. I'll keep notes of all the questions that come in and we'll get them all answered. So without further ado, I bring you Kim Serafini all the way from Australia. So excited to start. Yay, Kim, jazz hands, woo!
Thank you so much, Dana. You know, we were having a tiny little chat before we started to record this about how she was so excited, but I think that our energy was interplaying across the ethers in the quantum field last night, because I literally had no sleep. I was like a little jumping bean inside the bed. I tried to get a good night's sleep because I knew that I had to be on fire. But seriously, 3 o'clock in the morning, bang, I'm awake. I'm so excited. Can we start now? Can we start now? Can we start now?
Simpatico. That's me out there shoveling just to try to wear off some of this energy.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so hi, I'm Kim Serafini. I am the founder and CEO of Positive Prime. I'm also actually the owner of another company called Serafini Mind Spa, and there's a little bit of a link, and I'm going to share that with you today. Whew. I literally have like 5 days worth of material to try and compress into like 50 minutes, if we're lucky. I promise you that I will give you some really extraordinary hacks, but also some gems that have taken me decades to understand. I'm going to go really fast, and I know that my Aussie accent means that maybe you're going to have to lean in and listen, like really attentively. There are some things that are breakthroughs from the field of neuroscience that I'm going to share. There's also going to be some really exquisite ideas, because we're going to give you an opportunity to come down under to Australia to a very unique, precious, special health retreat where we really do have koalas, because that's home for me. And you're going to have to hang in there. And I've actually got a few extra surprises that even Dana doesn't know about, which I love because she loves surprises, as do I. Alrighty, so what do you need to know? Let me just compress. I'm clearly not 20, so I've had more than 20 years worth of experience in, I went to a fancy business school, like an Ivy League business school. I had an extremely prestigious career in mergers and acquisitions and change management consulting in London and New York. And I actually also, I must admit, I was really burnt out, but I also, more than 22 years ago, went to an Anthony Robbins Life Mastery University program, and it churned me up, and I'll tell you, nothing was ever the same afterwards. I was really fascinated in brain science even back then, and why do we do what we do, and how is it that we become who we are? And I was using that definitely in the corporate world, but I had this radical idea to take a sabbatical, and I went back and I studied and became a qualified sports therapist. Other people know them as osteopaths. And then about 20 years ago, because of Reiki, and I can say that in this group, I actually had a download, and I don't know whether people really refer to that as like divine inspiration, literally poured in and through me. And I am now like legitimately the inventor of what is commonly known as hot stone massage. The reason why I'm going to share some of these things with you is because it's going to be some building blocks that will help to lay a foundation so that you really understand a lot more about why this particular tool actually works. Yes, we've scientifically proven that it works, which is awesome and such an incredible asset and relief, but there's actually some real magic that's literally interwoven into the fabric of it, into the beingness of it. So yes, of course, it's proprietary, but it's exquisite, okay? So what happened was over many years, I trained nearly 5,000 therapists. I set up actual distributorships in this hot stone massage in the spa industry, and spa is salas per aqua. And I'm going to show you a slideshow soon. And I want you to know, just know here in your heart, that your mind and brain are so miraculous. They're so marvelous that you will be able to actually absorb all it is that I'm showing you, even if you can't consciously read every word, okay? So that's really important, because I'm going to speed through some slides. Of course, if you want the actual presentation, I'm very happy to share it, so long as there's confidentiality and there's a few other, aspects to that. So what happened was I went to the Himalayas in India, and I trained a whole heap of Ayurvedic doctors and therapists. And I had another one of these very inspirational downloads. By that stage, the brand Lithos Therapy had become internationally successful and very well respected. And I spoke on like the International Spa Association's annual conventions and so forth. And this was all like 20 years ago. What I discovered really in the journey of interacting with lots of really remarkable, very talented and gifted therapists who led with their heart was that in most cases, the reason why people come to beauty salons or massage clinics or health retreats is actually because of physical manifestations of what's going on for them mentally and emotionally, right? So I'm in India, and I'm at like this 6-star resort that actually, I'll tell you, Madonna owns, and I was invited there as a special guest, and it's unbelievable, way beyond your wildest imagination, spectacular. And I'm looking at these mountains, and I feel like a tiny little baby speck in the grand universe. And I like, you know what? It's all about gratitude. And I realized I had taken so much for granted in my life. And this saying just popped into my brain that that which we take for granted gets taken from us. And I literally completely flipped my entire life. And I wrote a book called I Am Grateful for Life. And it became an outstanding bestseller, but I didn't even mean it, right? I literally sent this email to 500 spas and salons who were clients and said, hey, how about you buy a box of books? There's 52 in a box, and you can give them to your gifts, and you can express your appreciation and thankfulness, and voila. And so then what happened was somebody who actually had a distribution for a bookstores bought a book from a beauty salon, rang me and said, hey, can we distribute your book into bookstores? You're an amazing author. And I'm like, I'm not an author. Don't call me an author. Don't be silly. I'm not an author. I'm just a therapist, and I just express these ideas through these pictures. The reason why I'm saying this to you is because I have literally over the last 10 years gone on this roller coaster ride that's included negotiations with Hay House, and I've connected with people like Dr. Joe Dispenza in special workshops and so forth. But what we have is something that we call positive prime. And it is a neuroscientific and positive psychology tool that we're actually in the background doing some extra research on, because it's a lot more than a solution for mental health. It's really a remarkable way to manifest absolutely magically, as if you are in an acceleration mode, right? So let me give you the headlines, okay? You can write some of these things down. Our brain is metabolically expensive, right? It consumes so much energy. And very recently, we came up with functional MRI machines. So you could put people into this MRI and you could study their brain whilst there was activation. So the person inside could watch a particular slideshow or movie, laughter or trauma or tragedy or violence, and you could see what was happening inside the brain, right? That's key to our new understanding. And I've got some incredible advisors who are amazing neuroscience researchers at prestigious universities, fine institutions. And we talk about positive prime. And you know what's amazing is that they are all really impressed with it. I may as well just dive in. I actually showed the tool many years ago to Sean Acor. He's very famous for his TED Talk. He was at Harvard University teaching, outrageously successful. He's married to a brilliant woman, Michelle. They are gorgeous human beings. They're generous, they're kind, they're incredibly bright. And I didn't know at that time, he had just done a deal with the Oprah Winfrey Network to teach the science of happiness. And he had Ariana Huffington and Kobe Bryant and a few other people involved. And he actually chose Positive Prime as the tool to bring about the science of happiness for his participants. We're talking tens of thousands and what has become millions, right? So I could never, ever, ever have manifested the opportunity to actually do something with the Oprah Winfrey Network and have someone like Sean really admire not only me, but our technology. But that's because it really, truly is phenomenal and it is groundbreaking. And it kind of feels a little bit, because we're Australian, we're very down to earth, it feels a little bit pretentious to even say that, or I feel a bit weird. We don't usually, as Aussies, go around and, beat the drum about ourselves. We're usually quite self-effacing. So I want to say it is absolutely world-class. There is nothing that exists like it on the planet and nothing that even comes close yet, right? So I'm going to talk about, I'm wearing my pearls. I'm going to talk about the ingredients that make this work and what we understand about the brain and the mind, so that you can actually imagine that each piece becomes a necklace, right, of magnificence, and you'll have this string of understanding. And the string theory actually also has something to do with it, because it is a quantum physics play, right? So let me do some screen sharing. And is this okay, Dana? We have hundreds of people here. Gosh, it's gone over 100. Fantastic.
I know. To screen share, and if we crash it, everybody come back, okay?
Okay. All righty. So let me just go here. All right. So we are here to actually talk about manifesting absolute abundance. And I can say that without this, I never, ever, ever could have imagined or actually physically in reality had the opportunity to work with the Oprah Winfrey Network, or even people like Dana Wilde, right? I also wouldn't have had millions of dollars, real dollars, actually flow into my life. That is actually my life and lifestyle. I don't say that to impress you, just to impress upon you, way beyond your wildest imagination can actually be true for you in a very short period of time. All right, so let's go over here and let's press present. Oh, I've got a slide that says Australia as a VIP. It's loading. Hang on a second. So if you hang in, you're going to find out. It's loading.
Everybody has to close your eyes so you don't see the surprise now. So everybody just agree we're going to close our eyes so that Kim can surprise us later.
Isn't it funny here? Okay, all right. So anyone want to come to Australia as a VIP? You're going to have to hang in there and you're going to have to find out how. All right, it's possible. It is possible. I'm not going to tell you how yet. All righty, so this is where we go at speed. Ready? No distractions. So maybe put your phone on silent if you like. If you're driving, please, 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 please pull over. Maybe don't look at the screen, okay? Just do what is safe and secure. Ready? All right. We're going to change all of our beliefs, and I'm going to explain to you how there's conscious, subconscious, non-conscious, and other than conscious. And a lot of people in this field actually only ever focus on conscious and subconscious, but you need to know there's like a vast addition that you have to integrate. Dr. Paul Shealy is actually a man who was one of the founders of the Transformational Leadership Council, and he basically invented and worked with Bill Harris for HoloSync way back, like 40 years ago, in terms of subliminal cassettes and hypnosis reprogramming. He's like one of the incredible fathers of this entire field. And
yeah, and Kim, this audience, our audience is very familiar with Paul Shealy because of the paraliminals. You've probably seen me promote the paraliminals before, learning strategies, paraliminals.
All right, you know what? I know that you live near him. So well, it was actually more than 10 years ago, I went to stay with Paul and I showed him this, and this was his verbatim response. In my 30 years as a leader of the transformational industry, I have never seen anything like this. How on earth did you know that you had to bypass the conscious critical judgment factors of the prefrontal cortex in order to access the other than consciousness? And I said, Paul, I am just a geek. I'm a nerd, right? And I have listened to every paraliminal, and I have listened to all of your other home study programs, and I have essentially integrated. It's like being this download, and all of a sudden I just knew that if you had a lot of very particular types of photographs and very specifically written self-fulfilling prophecies that adhere to cognitive dissonance rules, you could actually change limiting beliefs, so much so that you didn't have to eliminate a limiting belief. You could actually just write over the top of it, you know, like a file save as, and you literally just start writing over the top of it, and what was before completely evaporates and disappears. It's just no longer, it's transmuted, right? So if it hadn't been for Paul Shealy, I can promise you all, I can tell you, this would not exist, because he actually gave me the confidence and the courage to pursue this path. And I'll tell you, technologically, in terms of the software engineering and development and computer programming, it's been a nightmare, but it is absolutely brilliant now, and the potential is just beyond comprehension. All right, so I've already said to you, people like Paul and his colleagues like Marcy Shimoff and so forth, they all think of me as the Queen of Gratitude. This was like 15, 16 years ago, long before there was ever like, you know, the gratitude rock in the movie The Secret, right? And when that came out, I was like, oh, that's like my sign that I'm on track, you know? I have dedicated myself to positively changing the world by helping people to live happier and more meaningful lives, okay? That's kind of who I am. I have an inside Positive Prime. There is what we're going to call a session, which is actually like a at-home study program. It's an entire piece by Jack Canfield. And Jack actually stood up in front of one of these audiences in Santa Monica a couple of years ago and also said something very similar, like in terms of vision boards on steroids, he had never seen anything that comes close to what is Positive Prime. Marcy Shimoff has been a really great supporter. Christine Carlson, very famous, she and her husband, for the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff series. So I share this with you because a lot of really brilliant people have actually investigated and gotten in under the hood and behind the scenes and kind of tested who am I really and what's going on, and oh, there's me and Paul. So, you know, of course, I love Mike Dooley, etc. most people have heard of heart math, haven't they? Dana, are you into heart math?
Yeah, I know all about heart math. Yeah, Howard Martin. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we showed him a positive prime session, and you wouldn't believe it, inside 3 minutes. In fact, it was much faster. That was inside 60 seconds. Everybody who was trialing, they were actually watching a positive prime session, they dropped into heart rhythm coherence. Yeah, unbelievably phenomenal. That, what I'm saying is, like, it's so out there that most people can't even fathom what this all really means. All right, so that's Sean, that's Oprah, and we were featured in the 21 Days to a Happier Life, and we still are. That program is actually no longer available to the public because Sean did something very clever, and he kind of like sold 50,000 copies of that actual course to companies like Google and about 30 other Fortune 500 companies, which is really incredible, right? So yes, I'm a speaker. Yes, I'm a change management consultant. But what you're having here today is the opportunity to have a gift. And when you watch one of these sessions, and you should have actually experienced this in the thank you page when you registered, and I'll tell you how you can do that if you've missed out. It's a self-loving, self-respecting, nurturing ritual every single time you watch a positive prime session. There is actual solid science that indicates it's actually healing when you watch it. So it's an open eye meditation, kind of mixed with a self-hypnosis, kind of mixed with a mindfulness exercise, kind of mixed with a mind massage, kind of mixed with a reprogramming of not only your conscious, your subconscious, but your non-conscious and your other than conscious. Should I go there? I should go there, okay? And what we did with this particular piece of software was we layered in so that it is actually one of the most powerful vision board processes on the entire planet, and also totally, completely tied with a gratitude journal, which is part of its secret sauce and the reason why it works so well, okay? All right, so the facts are, when you feel brighter, you are brighter. The brain science says so. When you are in a higher vibration, higher frequency, your brain actually behaves in such a way that the neural networks fire the parts of your brain that are actually responsible for creativity, for solutions-oriented thinking, for seeing opportunities that are out of the box, for activating motivation. These parts of your brain that help you to learn, that help you to remember, that help you to recall, these parts of your brain literally do become more activated. They turn on when you feel brighter. And interestingly enough, there are all sorts of intelligence tests as well, so that when you're in this state, right, we're actually going to call it the broaden and build state, you are intellectually brighter as well. You're actually smarter. So in this beautiful self-nurturing, self-loving ritual that you have of watching a session for 3 minutes a day, every day, I need you to know you're also making yourself smarter, right? That is just, woo, love that, right? We've seen studies where people make more accurate decisions faster, right? Sales traders in financial institutions, we've seen in the research, doctors, when they're given with really complex case studies, they actually come to accurate diagnoses faster. And this is all like double-blind, placebo, control group kind of stuff. So they've taken doctors and they've negatively primed them, or they've primed them in a neutral way, and they've actually made sure that they repeat these studies, and doctors that are negatively primed don't actually come to accurate diagnoses, let alone in a period of time. It's seriously dangerous. I think it's dangerous. It's a very big statement for me to say, for people to be negatively primed, okay?
Wow.
And Ariana Huffington and Sean and Michelle did a piece of research where 15 minutes of the news actually negatively primes you, and you should literally, you'd cry if you understood what it did to your brain. Now, I'm not even going to go there on what this means for insulin resistance and the way the brain cleanses itself and its lymphatic system, and you know what that means for type 3 diabetes or Alzheimer's. Like, that needs a whole nother hour or 2 or 3, right? So these these negatively prime you. And what I'm going to say to you is when you're scrolling through Facebook or you're scrolling through Instagram, I'm going to tell you, you cannot be in control that if somebody uploads 30 photographs, that 30 photographs aren't going to have a whole heap of these kinds of photographs in it. And as you're scrolling really quickly, what's interesting is your other than consciousness is being activated. All right. So everyday life is really a very big problem for us. However, it's really easy to change. It's actually quite elegant. I don't want anybody to walk away from here believing these past notions. Neuroscientists used to think that the brain didn't change. We now know that it does. You all in this community surely understand Dr. Davidson. His name's Richard Davidson. He is the father of neuroplasticity. We're going to go into a couple of aspects of how and why we've been led to believe that there is a struggle to changing, and how we actually live into that struggle so that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and how we actually can literally completely reverse that. Okay, so we have a couple of really powerful drivers. Most of you will probably know some of these drivers. One of them is just our primal instinct for safety. So you've all heard of flight, fight, freeze, right? So you know this. You know that in the caveman days, in our primordial, our reptilian brain formed, if there was a threat, we actually had to make a decision as to whether that was going to kill us or not. And so what happened, of course, is we made instant, really extraordinary decisions, and we had to actually be accurate or right about those decisions in order to survive, right? Now, I'm going to actually explain to you why a lot of your mantras may not be working as beautifully as you would like them to, or your vision boards may not be working just as quite smoothly as you'd like them to, or as quickly. And a lot of it has to do with decisions, all right? So a lot of what I share are relatively new insights based upon the science and also the real spirituality. Like, I mean, I'm out there in terms of all of the other kinds of rituals I do. But you need to know that there is this aspect of the way that we behave naturally, organically with respect to decisions. Okay, so hold on to that. The other main issue is that the retina in our eyes processes the environment, and what actually happens is it sends messages to our mirror neurons in our brain, which are kind of here. This is like where your little devil horns are, or where your little angel halo is. Mine's a halo. I don't know about you. What's yours? Huh? This is how we learn, right? We learn by observing and by mimicking, and this is key to actually harnessing and lassoing this idea so that we can use it to our benefit, right? The other thing is that we actually, we need to bypass the editor when we want to change something. And it also has something to do with decision. So hang on, I'm nearly getting there. This insatiable appetite to be right is actually really a part of our need for connection in terms of the social networks. But it's really also our brain needs to know that we are right because it's linked to the amygdala, right? So everything about changing and your mantras has to be about the way that you start to have the mental rehearsal process happen so that you actually believe that you are right about a new paradigm. So if you need a paradigm that is, I am really great at making money and I make so much money that there's lots and lots and lots, not only for my life, but actually for future generations as well, right? That's like taking that idea to the nth degree, which is a little bit of what I do, right? So I don't want to make enough money just for this lifetime for me to enjoy. I want to make enough money for me to actually fund future generations. How cool would that be? That's all about legacy. That's all about impact. No. That's what my grandparents actually also were really driven to do. So interestingly enough, everything about my entire beingness has to reinforce that so that when I make a decision, I am right about that. I'll give you a classic example. Let's just say you decide that dairy is no longer good for you. Like you have some kind of intolerance because some person in authority with respect who you believed in gave you a piece of information. This has actually just recently happened to me. Based upon some antibiotics, for some unknown reason, and we found this out through a gastroscopy and an endoscopy, you know, like basically both ends, right? So they found out after doing a biopsy that for some unknown reason, I basically stopped being able to process dairy, right? Well, we make a decision about that being right when somebody in authority tells us. That's one of the ways, okay? Then what we do is we gather all this evidence to prove to ourselves how right we are. That helps us to actually completely adopt a new way of being and make it a habit, right? Until that day, I had milk in my coffee. I love cheese. I would have nachos with cheese, and I loved ice cream. I had noticed there were these really interesting physiological things happening. But for me to actually change my entire orientation around a new lifestyle that didn't include any dairy was a really radical change. So I had to be right about dairy not being good for me anymore in order for me to make that change permanent and enduring and beneficial. Are you with me? So I can look at a photograph now of an ice cream, and when I see it, I perceive it as a coconut ice cream, not a dairy ice cream, right? I'm going to help you to do that with every aspect of your life. So we create change by addressing these internal, external, anatomical, and significance drivers. Positive prime doesn't have just any images, any words. Sorry, go.
Can I just add one more thing to this, Kim? Because I really don't want this point to be lost. You know, I think so many of us, we make decisions or we make choices for our lives, and then we feel bad when we don't follow through with choices. You know, it's the New Year's Eve resolution thing. You know, it's like you do it for 3 days and you don't do it. And so to try to understand in the brain how much the brain is trying to help you to stay the same. The brain is really trying to protect you and keep you safe. And when you don't do the things that you say you're going to do, it's because your brain wants to help you to stay the same. It wants to help keep you safe. And so the things that Kim is talking about on a conscious level and being able to surround yourself with external stuff, it's so important, not just from the conscious level, but it's important because the neural pathways in your brain that are used to making the same decision, same decision, same decision, same decision, same decision, it's like a superhighway that happens in a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a millisecond. You make the same decision. And so when you're using something like Positive Prime, which she's going to get into here, now you actually start to rewire the brain so that you have a shot at making a different decision, because that superhighway now opens up a new superhighway with the new decision. So I hope that makes sense, but it can't be overstated how much your brain is supporting you, but sometimes what the brain considers support is not what your conscious mind wants it to do. Okay, so with that, we'll let Kim explain why creating this new superhighway is so important.
I love you, Dana. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go on the same page. Has everybody seen those, they're kind of archaic or ancient now, but maybe not for people who haven't been exposed to this before, the images of the iceberg that represent the conscious and the subconscious. And a lot of people have learned that the conscious is basically visually represented as the bit of the iceberg that's above the waterline, and the subconscious is the bit of the mind that's under the water. Does everybody know that? I think so, right? We must have all seen that in some way, shape, or form over the last 20, 30, 40 years. Well, the truth is, a lot of subliminal programs, which were very 80s and 90s, they were trying to change the subconscious, the bit of the iceberg underneath the waterline that's so much more vast than the bit of the iceberg that's above the waterline. But what we totally miss when we're totally down a rabbit hole is that it's never been about the iceberg. It's always been about the ocean, right? And that is actually the other than consciousness, right?
Brilliant.
It's your other than consciousness that informs your subconscious and your conscious. So any tool that has been about subliminal changing of your limited beliefs, I'm so sorry, but we have like quantum leaped upgraded that big time for you. No, for me too, right? Because I had all of those and I was super frustrated and super disappointed. And I kept repeating patterns that were unhealthy and not quite helping me to actually live the life of my dreams, right? I was making mistakes in relationships. I had built this super huge, amazing business. And I literally nearly faced bankruptcy because of all of this weird programming that I didn't even understand, right? So I have to tell you, I've had to dig so deep for me and then share it with you, right? Do you know there are some people who say, oh, you could have kept all of this just for you and your clients, Kim? No, that is just not who I am, right? As you get to know me, you're going to really understand and appreciate. I'm super passionate. It might have something to do with Serafini, right? It might have something to do with the fact that I'm just crazy, right? Or that I'm intense. I'm really intense. And it also has something to do with, I have this incredible integrity that the honesty fiber in me, this has to work. I can't tell you it works and it not work. It must work. It's essential and critical that it works, okay? So we have tweaked and we have tested and we have tried and we have improved and we have improved and, you know, we've added it a little bit. And so the actual proprietary formula for one of these things, yes, it includes 17 different elements, but there's actually even more that we've had to kind of apply. So now that we're with the iceberg in the ocean, I want to take it an extra level for you. And I really want you to understand this. When we are of a lower vibration, let's say plus, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus all the way to 12. So positive psychology actually studies these emotions, these states that are plus 12, 1, 2, 3. And of course, there's minus 12. There's actually like 24 that have kind of been scientifically studied. Esther Hicks, of course, really, I know you guys are all fans. Well, what's interesting is that in order for us to actually be in the plus 12, a whole heap of different aspects need to be at play, right? And it's very easy these days if you use something like positive prime, but it's actually very difficult otherwise. What happens with the ocean is that we have about 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, okay? About 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. But we actually take in 11 million bits of information per second, but we can only attenuate to 40 bits of information based upon our reticular activating system, which is informed by the decisions that we've made about what's important for us to actually allow us to focus on, right? Back to the decisions bit. So Sean Acor talks about the snowflake in the blizzard is what you can really focus on based upon how you have primed your lens so that you can see the snowflake. Snowflakes also remind me of Masaru Emoto's work with water crystals. Who's seen that? If you haven't yet, I want you to write this down. You must go and watch What the Bleep Do We Know? What the Bleep Do We Know? You must.
Great movie. Yeah, great movie.
Film. It's old. There's a few others. So what is interesting is that scientists know, Dana, you know this, you teach this, about 70% to 80% of those 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day are negative. We know that. They're called ANTs, automatic negative thoughts, right? And we know that about 80 to 90% are similar to yesterday, last week, last month, last year. So someone like me sits down and says, over years, don't get me wrong, this didn't all happen in one flash. How is it that we can actually have unique thoughts based upon a new envisaged future that is completely different to our troubled past? How do we make it so that we change all of those stats? So that in the 50 to 70,000 thoughts that we automatically have every single day, that actually, what would it be like if 80% of them were actually new and unique and fresh and creative and amazing and positive? Well, I want you to know that I actually started to play in the ocean. Of course, with my quantum work, my healing weirdness, like energy, whatever you want to call it. And I realized that we have to change. You know, when you look at a pool and the pool's blue and the ocean's blue, we have to actually get some food dye, and the food dye needs to be fuchsia pink, hot pink, right? Like the pink behind Dana right now, like the pink over here down near accelerated learning and development. And do you know how much pink dye we have to pour into a swimming pool in order to change it pink? Or the ocean's pink. Imagine how much food dye. I want you to really and truly fathom this. Think about it. Try to get this in your cells. Because that's how much goodness you have to have coming in through those 11 million bits of information per second in order for you to be the little iceberg where the peak is pink, what's underneath is pink, and you're floating around in a pink ocean. But in this day and age in the Western world, that's almost physically impossible, but you have to be in charge, right, of the pink food dye. You with me?
Yes,
All
we
right.
got it.
So that's what we're really doing here. It has been scientifically proven by Sean and Michelle. They actually had to do that for the Oprah Winfrey Network, which was really amazing because, like, what a beautiful gift from God that was for me, right? We'd been to a couple of really amazing universities and said, hey, can you prove its efficacy, that it actually works? And like they would give us these quotes for like $30,000 or $150,000 just for the research to prove it works. And then Sean rings a couple of his friends and all of a sudden it's all done scientifically for the Oprah Winfrey Network. Like, oh, unbelievable, right?
How great is that? Wow.
So why does it work? Well, it's because we show you Duchenne smiles, tree canopies, spectacular or inspiring scenery, particular colors, particular shapes. We show you particular actual power poses, victories. We show you images of social connections. We show you expressions of gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation. And we integrate it all with positive statements and questions like incredible self-fulfilling prophecies, affirmations, and mantras. And we do so in such a way that we're accessing your other than consciousness, okay? So we're going so much further and deeper than the subconscious reprogramming that a lot of experts are really talking about, okay? So let me show you why and how. Duchenne smiles. This is actually a scientific label for this type of smile. Do you know that your brain, through your mirror neurons that I connected to you before, right? You know instantly, you know whether someone is genuine and sincere in the way that they smile at you, whether they're real smiles. Now, here's the remarkable thing. Lean in and listen to this. When you see a smile, even if you're not smiling, your brain thinks that you're smiling. Your mirror neurons actually interact with the rest of your brain. They send a message to your endocrine system that's responsible for your hormones. You start to produce more serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin and other feel-good endorphins. And guess what happens? Voila, you start to feel brighter. What happens when you feel brighter? You are brighter. You start to behave in ways that are absolutely about a brighter disposition, about a brighter future. But oh my gosh, you're also intellectually smarter. You're more creative. It's just like, hello, right? But the problem, what's the reality? None of us live and work in environments where everybody's actually doing these Duchenne smiles all day, every day, right? So if you do not even take us up on the very special offer that is literally, you're going to cry. I promise you, you're going to cry with gratitude when I tell you what we've got in store for you, right? I'm not actually exaggerating and I'm really not over the top. When I say that, I mean it. You'll be able to tell me whether you think that you're going to cry, but you are, because I have made this particular package for you so ridiculous. You are
I can't wait to hear it. I don't even know what it is. I'm just like, come on, I want to hear what it is.
So when you watch a positive prime session, there are a certain number of Duchenne smiles that are integrated into the formula, okay? So it's part of the content. Now, what happens is that if you are a teacher or you are an author or you are a coach, if you actually deliver your suggestions, your advice, if you actually deliver your knowledge, if you actually deliver your instructions to somebody who is in a positively primed state, guess what? They're going to comprehend more of what you say. They're actually going to recall it, remember it, and actually put it into a habit, right? when you say something, communicate to a person who is positively primed, they're in this state, and we can prove it with these functional MRI images, your job is done. So a lot of coaches and authors and speakers and teachers, they've got the best intentions in the world, but unfortunately they weren't delivering their message to an audience who was positively primed. Right.
It makes a huge
so
difference.
Simple.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good. I love it.
Right. Now we can amplify that. Oh yes, I love amplifying. Now we're going over the top. Okay, so if you do that, and there are also these images of like green tree canopy, there's lots of other aspects to this. I need another hour to discuss this about is how it affects cytokines, how it affects your actual immune system. So I can really put my hand on my heart here, and I can say to you, when you watch a positive prime session, it is also healing you, okay? It is impacting your immunity, all right? So it's like an antioxidant on speed.
Yes.
True. Like, it's true. Now, you'll also see lots of bubbles. I don't want to actually do any punchlines, but there's a reason why there are certain shapes and certain colors, and it's all about the way that we're priming your brain. This particular work, has everybody watched the Amy Cuddy TED Talks, C-U-D-D-Y, Amy Cuddy, about the power pose? She did this incredibly famous TED Talk. She's a Harvard professor. A lot of scientists came out and bashed her in really cruel ways. So guess what? They had to go and redo all of the science, and she was validated and vindicated, and actually it's more solid than people thought. But do you know, if you were just to stand here and do this, all right, do this for 20 seconds. Do you know this actually starts to produce more testosterone, for one, inside your body? And do you know that is actually the confidence hormone? So there's all of this research about if you do that prior to an actual interview or a presentation, it's actually going to impact the way that you are perceived by an audience. Now, what is beautiful about your mirror neurons is if we show you enough of these kinds of photographs, guess what? You don't even have to do this. It starts to happen inside your body.
Yeah. I have to repeat what you just said, because this is really important. And you've said it a couple of times now when you're talking about the Duchenne smile and this, it's that your brain just has to see the picture and you get the benefit from it. So you don't even have to smile. You don't even have to do the pose. If your brain sees the picture of it, you already get the benefit. Okay, that's all I want. I've got a million other things to say, but I'm really containing myself very well here, Kim.
I know. Do you know what? You're a darling. You are a darling, and so generous, because quite frankly, you can tell I'm really hard to interrupt. Okay, so let me just keep on with this theme. So because of that and pro-social behaviors, we know for a fact that if we show you these kinds of images, you will actually start to increase your production of oxytocin, and you will actually feel less lonely, okay? Which has a whole nother application for aged homes, right? All sorts of rehabilitation environments. Anyway, this is, I can go and I can go and I can go, but I need an hour for each aspect of this. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's go into the way that your brain actually works and what cognitive dissonance has got to do with that, and what being in alignment has got to do with that. So let's just say you see my life is harmonious, okay? Your brain must, it can't help it, it must go and gather evidence so that you can be right about that. My life is harmonious. My life is harmonious. My life is harmonious. And I literally go and gather evidence that stacks up that as a decision that is true about my life. All right. And that's how we reinforce new beliefs. So if you are a diabetic and you've only just been diagnosed, I can actually tell you in a prime state, if I show you lots of foods that have very low glycemic indexes, you will allow those images into your other than consciousness without you rejecting them. We're actually going to go into that a little bit. And you will actually start to stack, and you won't really be aware of why your habits are changing, but they will change. And then if we actually layer on top of that very, very carefully curated words, like, it is way beyond comprehension for how incredible this technology is. All right.
Yeah, actually, this is also, it works the same way. You know how when we talk about negative self-talk, when you're doing a negative self-talk, your brain is gathering evidence why that negative thing is true. So this is why it's so important this kind of a tool like this, because when your brain sees this, even if it goes by in a flash, your brain is gathering evidence and supporting this, making it true for you because it's gathering the evidence to support it.
Totally.
Sorry,
the other thing is that if we write statements as thank yous, like thank you for helping me to be joyful and cheerful, do you know what that presupposes? That you are joyful and cheerful. And so you know what your body does? It goes, oh, I must be joyful and cheerful. Oh, and so guess what happens? It starts to resonate and vibrate, and it is absolutely beautiful. All right. Now, we have sessions on all sorts of content: patience, happiness, developing relationships, confidence, abundance, like Dana's, prosperity, all sorts of things, right? We have incredible content that helps us to sleep. I will tell you, one of the things that I have learned relatively recently as I've dived more and more and more into neuroscience is that sleep is critical for you. You must have 6 to 8 hours a night. You know, you have this cleansing, purifying system, like your lymphatic system in your body. It's called your glymphatic system. It only works when you're asleep. You must be asleep for it to work. It is what cleanses your brain. We know that Alzheimer's has been linked to what looks like plaque in the brain. It requires cleansing. You must sleep. You must get good quality sleep. And should we actually now introduce something about theta waves? So who knows that our brain has different waves? Like there's delta, and then there's theta, and then there's alpha, and then there's beta. People who are in high beta states, which is when we're really like, oh, like now, do you know what? That is, you can't sustain that for very long, and you shouldn't, because actually there's a tax, there's a load on your brain that is quite frankly alarming. You must have really significant phases of delta and theta, and that is another reason why you need to sleep. But theta thinking is really a state that you're in hypnosis, in self-hypnosis, right? And we work with, like we work with Dana, people like Marissa Peer, you know, the rapid transformational therapist leader. She's actually come here and stayed at my home. In fact, that was about a year ago. Oh, no, just a little over that. Anyway, we have created an actual program that supports her called the I Am Enough Positive Prime Session. It's amazing. All right, so what we did was we created positive prime sessions, and they work. Full stop, end of story, period, whatever you want to call it in America, you know, that like definite. And then we thought, how do we make this so much more so that it amplifies and accelerates our ability to actually achieve our goals, for us to manifest what it is that we want, for our wishes and dreams to become reality, right? So I want you to know that when you look at a vision board, if you are not in a positively primed state, you are going to be, just as if there are sound waves, there are vibration waves, you are going to be emanating out an energy of negativity towards your vision board. You do not want that. Do you hear me? You do not want that. You want to be in a positively primed state when you're looking at the images that you would have on your vision board. Do you get me? Is everybody here with me?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it's just like when you say an affirmation and you argue with it, or you say an affirmation and you resist it. It's the same thing. You're basically manifesting the opposite when you look at your vision board and you're disagreeing with it.
Totally, totally. So what we have also done, and this is really the secret sauce, so shh. In a positive prime session, there are about 1,000 frames, right? 1,000 slides. Let's call them slides or frames. Every single time you press play, it reshuffles the deck of these flashcards. And it does that for a reason. Leading in, hanging on, think about this. From a post-traumatic stress syndrome perspective, or from a changing your brain perspective, and from a habitual way of thinking perspective, I'm going to give you 3 examples so that you really get this. Let's just say, this is a true example, your husband passed away by drowning in a sailing accident. And every time you looked at a sailing boat, you were triggered negatively. And there was fear, and there was anger, etc., etc. Well, if I show you that photograph And on either side of that photograph, I put 2 photographs of something that actually makes you feel uplifted, elevated, joyful, loved, grateful. Let's just say you have a really strong, positive association with the image of the Eiffel Tower and the image of a pussycat, right? Now, let's just say that there's the one in the middle, there's the 2 either side, then there's another 2. We have to do 16, by the way. And here is a photograph of me, and here is or photograph of you, and here is a photograph of a rose or a sunflower, and you have a positive association with that. And what's going to happen is the brain likes to collapse 16 bits of information and actually create a theme or like a flavor of those 16, because the brain likes to be able to categorize and make meaning, right? So because you've got this thing in the middle and you've got these other images either side of it, before and after, they're actually infusing their energy into this one, and this will actually have less of an effect, an impact, less of a trigger the next time you see it. Now, the way to actually make that happen for sure in an enduring, positive, very rapid, very quick way is that if the next time you watch this series of images, they're in a different order, your brain has to actually process other bits of information to collapse. And so now you're mixing and merging all of these new connections to that one image, which means it's such a shuffling. You can no longer epistemically access the emotional charge of that one image inside 16, 32, 64. Right, go Dana.
Can I address something here too that I think is really, really important, is that, and this addresses your question, Jen, about is this just a mind movie? This is not a mind movie. And here, this that Kim is talking about right now is what makes it so ridiculously different. Like it's going to blow your mind when you start to really think about what she's saying here. Imagine you see a slide that says abundance is flowing to me. First of all, if you see it slowly, your brain might argue with it like a movie. Okay, I'm going to watch my mind movie and I'm going to see that sentence and I'm going to go, I agree or I disagree. You're going to have a little argument with it. And then the next day you're going to watch the same mind movie, the same sentence is going to go by. This is like, imagine you see that slide that says abundance is flowing to me and it's going by so fast, your unconscious mind accepts it, but your conscious mind doesn't. It's associated with a horse and a tree and a pile of money and 2 people talking. The next day, the next time you play it, the whole deck shuffles. So your brain has to create a whole new neural network about abundance. It says abundance is flowing to me, but this time it's next to a pussycat and a yacht and, whatever. I mean, a friend, there's so many variations. You take 1,000 pictures and all of these phrases, hundreds of phrases, and you shuffle them up over and over and over again every time you watch it, and your brain has to make that new connection every time. So you're not just watching the same boring mind movie over and over again. Oh yeah, abundance is flowing to me. Your brain doesn't even have a chance against something like this. Like your brain is just being completely reprogrammed and inundated at such a vast level because of the power of this tool. All right, I hope that explains the difference between my movies, but if it doesn't, we'll address it again. Go ahead, Kim, sorry to interrupt you, but I really wanted to hit that hard because you really can't fathom. I would love to know the statistics on this, but I can't imagine if it's like probably 1 in a gazillion trillion times, you would never get the same thing twice. And your brain has to make all those neural networks about abundance.
Do you know, in this community, Dee Terrell is here, right? So,
yes,
and do you know she's an actuary? You know what an actuary is in terms of their mathematical brilliance, genius, don't you? So anyway, she would be able to tell you that if we shuffle it every single time, 1,000 frames, you literally have a computation that you can't make, right? So people who are into mathematics won't be able to.
That's just what I was asking. I don't even know if it's like something times infinity or something.
Beyond, right? Truly. But so here's the other thing, right? A particular session works infinitely better when you are integrated it. When you are integrated within it. When you see photographs of yourself in it, guess what? Your brain decides that what it's seeing is for you. If you're watching a session on abundance, your brain sees you inside the abundance, and your brain actually links you, and you actually have your cells infused now. If you have had really destructive relationships, romantic relationships, and you really want romance and intimacy, if you've got that session and you've uploaded photographs of you into that content and there's lots of you in it, guess what happens? You start to believe that romance and intimacy is for you. And then once you've made that decision, because it's happening at an other than consciousness level, your entire beingness causes synchronicity and serendipity to bring into alignment all that is necessary in terms of the circumstances of the situation and the people lining up, right? It's phenomenal, really phenomenal. So these are actually the interesting things. Most people look at a vision board or a mind movie or a PowerPoint presentation, and they kind of got bored after they gathered 50 to 100 photographs, right? Your brain needs novelty, for starters. We could go into a whole neuroscience lecture about that. I know we got to hurry up. So the interesting thing is that you need to feel
my
fantastic.
Alarm went off. That was all that was. That was an alarm on my phone that went off. I wasn't giving you a signal.
Alrighty, so if you have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, I want you to think about this, like really try to comprehend this. How many images do you think you need on your vision board in order for you to completely overpower 50% of your negative thoughts? I'm going to do this for you because I actually literally got out my calculator. 50,000 thoughts a day, even if you don't believe there are 70,000 thoughts a day, 50,000 thoughts a day is 350,000 thoughts a week, 350,000 thoughts a week. That's 1.5 million thoughts a month, 1.5 million thoughts a month. That's what our mind is doing. No wonder we're freaking exhausted. Anyway, do you know how much that is in a year? That's 18 million thoughts in a year. We know that they're similar to yesterday. They're, you know, terrible programming. And my gosh, they're negative. Good Lord, right? Now, do you know that's 3/4 of a trillion in 40 years? If you're about our age-ish, or 50 years, right? Well, actually, it's more than that if you're closer to 50 or 60. Now, in the United States, a billion is 100 million. And in the UK, a billion is 1 million million. Did you know that? So we have different counting systems. So it's actually a quarter, 3/4 of a trillion within 40 years, right? 3/4 of a trillion thoughts. And you think 100 photographs on a vision board is going to change you. You cannot totally, completely reprogram yourself so that your entire vision of your most magnificent future is going to become reality if you don't have millions of different presentations of millions of photos, right? And statements.
Truth.
Get it?
Truth.
Right.
Absolutely truth. I have to tell you, you've got people so convinced. We've got people going like, come on, tell me how much I want this.
All right, let's go
straight. I gotta warn you. I just gotta warn you.
No, do you know what else? A lot of people don't like photographs of themselves. I do know this, and they actually feel uncomfortable. What I want you to see, please hear this. I want you to see the angel that is inside of you when you look at a photograph of yourself.
These are beautiful.
I do not want you to see the physical you. It doesn't matter whether you looked spectacular like I did at 20 and not so great at 40. No, I'm only joking, right?
You're gorgeous.
You're gorgeous, but I want you to see your gorgeous soul. When you think I am rich, I want you to think about how rich your blood is with oxygen, right? I really want to help you actually make these shifts. And I want you to attract for you, by the way. All right, so we have positive prime for personals, people, you, me, everyone. We have positive prime for professionals, coaches, therapists, authors, etc. And we have positive prime for workplaces and sporting teams and so forth. Let's dive into this. So I'm going to actually show you exactly a little bit of a tutorial. I promise to do this really fast. Positive prime has all of these ingredients, you know that. It has all of these elements, you know that. you will get to learn more when you are a member. Everybody on the planet can become a free member. If you haven't already, please do not. Okay, I'm going to give you some instructions and I want you to write them down, or I want you to go and watch the replay. I promise you want to stay glued here. Don't go off to your internet yet, okay? Positiveprime.com. You then can use a referral code called Train Your Brain, all little words, little letters, no caps, all squashed together, no spaces, Train Your Brain. And it will gift you Dana's Abundance Session, which is brilliant, amazing, gorgeous, fantastic, excellent. I use it, I watch it, I love it, I endorse it, I support it, I encourage everybody to, I'm not joking, and it's not just because she's in the room, right?
Yeah, and so that's why it's important to use the code Train Your Brain. Otherwise, you don't get that session for free and you have to buy it. And so
Correct.
This way you get that session for free when you use Train Your Brain altogether.
Correct. Now, we have direct sales leaders who have shared this with like 100 people in their team, and their sales have actually, in most cases, not only doubled, but tripled, and some individual leaders have actually quadrupled their own personal income, and that is absolutely a fact, right? Now, the truth is, those 100 people are actually watching Positive Prime sessions every day, right? So you've got to do it. Now let's go. Let's go. Oh, I've got a whole 1,000 case studies on what we've done in the workplace, but anyway, let's go. This is actually the efficacy research, right? It's available on our website, but does it work? Absolutely it does. Do we actually have interesting changes?
Kim, hold on a second. Mayumi, we're getting reports that the website's down. So if you're still here, Mayumi, could you check into that and see if we could get that sorted out?
Oh, that's a bit strange. I would say.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of people, so maybe they're booming it, and just.
Can I also tell you, we actually created a session for the Aussie bushfires. So everybody on the planet probably knows that we've had absolutely terrifying Aussie bushfires, and we created a Positive Prime session that was all about repair, regrowth, rejuvenation, refreshing, like not one image of disaster and terrifying bushfire, but what happens. Most people may have seen the news, and there's over 1 billion animals that have perished, and it's just been absolutely incredibly terrible. But we've got so much traffic also going, so it might be this group, but it might be
I just checked, it's working for me. So whoever had trouble, I would clear the cookies on your computer when you want to do it, and wait until she's done telling you, because in addition to that free session, Kim's got a really, really insane special offer for.
Okay, let's go.
Advantage of it.
Hang in there, because we have an incredible program that is free for everybody on the planet. But if you want to actually personalize it, as in edit it and upload photographs to yourself to turn it into a vision board and a gratitude board, the basic standard is you become a premium member, and it's $9.99 a month. Okay, so it's $9.99 a month. So that's about $120 a year. If you pay for the entire year up front, yes, you save 2 months and you actually pay $99. However, we have something that's so much more beautiful, and it's actually because we've been listening to our members, and we've got tens of thousands of members, by the way. There are some realities of modern day life, and that is a lot of people don't really have the time nor the energy to actually go and curate 100 photographs that are the perfect representation of their vision and then upload it into the software. Some people aren't even tech savvy. So when you are a signature member, right, you pay $19.99 a month, so $240 a year. And actually there is lots of additional benefits, and I'm going to go through all of that with you. But today's offer means that you are actually going to have that entire package, but with a huge discount. And the discount means that you're going to have something incredible called a VIP membership, and it's going to be $159. Okay. Now, yes, that's saving a lot of money, but the savings is actually just the tip of the iceberg. All right. Ready to see what's in the ocean? Hang on. Right. So there are some extra gifts. If you actually sign up for the VIP, I'm going to show you, by the way, I'm actually going to screen share and show you. So bear with me, and I will actually literally show it so you've got a memory of visually, because your brain thinks in pictures, right? I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it in the step by step. Give me 5 minutes, okay? If you do it within the next 24 hours, you are going to get an appointment with me, a real appointment, one-on-one. I pick up the phone, I call you, we have 30 minutes. If you've got something where you need some really serious energy healing around, I promise I will do that for you. If you've got a really incredible program, you just want to unpack and I am going to help you to do that, right? Now, because of my schedule and because of this offer, Mayumi, who is my general manager, my personal assistant, the woman who literally controls everything, by the way, so you need to be nice to Mayumi, but Mayumi is just the most beautiful, sweet, kind, patient human being on the planet, right? So Mayumi has cleared my schedule so I can actually do 300 of these consultations within the next 3 months. But you must schedule yours, and there are a couple of rules. It's only 30 minutes. You can reschedule only once. If you don't show up.
I cannot believe you're doing this, Kim. I cannot believe you're doing this. Do you guys realize how big that is? One-on-one sessions. And Kim, by the way, she's an energy healer as well. She hasn't talked about that much, in addition to being an amazing coach and being able to help you figure out what you should, might want to focus your movie on, and help you shift your energy and shift the way you think. Like, that's crazy, to be honest. Like, if I was coaching you, I'd say, do not do 300 one-on-one sessions. So I can see, like, it's so generous of you to be doing that. Thank you so much for giving that to this group. That's crazy.
Well, and I also know that there will be people here who want to say, as soon as the URL is revealed for this replay, they'll want to say to other people in their lives, their colleagues or friends of theirs who went through coaching programs with them, or other people in their direct sales organization, et cetera, et cetera. They'll say, oh my gosh, you have to watch this video and you have to take advantage of this, right? So I know that I do actually really understand what I'm signing up myself for. However,
Wow.
I have to say this. It's a yearly subscription, right? So when it recurs next year, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get another 30-minute review when you renew, right?
Wow.
Now, that's only because you're in Dana's group. Do you hear me? It's not advertised on our general website. You're also going to have Mayumi and her team help you as a concierge service, done for you personalization, right? And you're going to get a whole heap more. I'll tell you, you're going to cry. So the done for you positive prime pilot process is actually with Mayumi. It starts in my consultation. We actually help you to define what is possible. You are going to be invited to group coaching calls where I'm going to go through a lot more about self-fulfilling prophecies and how do you make sure you change things like, I want unlimited abundance. Your brain sees the word limited. You do not want the word unlimited. You want, I am infinitely abundant. Infinity is a whole heap different from unlimited. Do you all get that? But we're going to go through those kinds of things in these group coaching sessions, right?
Wow.
In addition to that, you're going to be supported by some people in the Facebook group who are professionals who are going to actually go in there and encourage you. And that all alone is basically worth about $1,200 extra, and they're bonuses, right? But there's even better bonuses coming. Now, remember, this one-on-one coaching consulting call with me with energy healing is only available if you're a VIP, right? Only available if you're a VIP. Once you're a VIP, you're actually going to be given 2 opportunities that are only available to VIP. So you must be a VIP first, right? Which means you have to secure this opportunity for the $159 for a year. So, you ready? I am going to offer for anybody who wants to become a positive prime professional, they're a speaker, they're an author, they're a leader, they're a manager, they're a teacher, the opportunity to have your own positive prime session created by us according to our formula, but inside at a player that actually appears on your website that you can use to prime your audience on your website. A bit like everybody who came to the thank you page for Dana actually got to see her session appearing on a website page. So I want you to imagine you will be given an opportunity to become a positive prime professional and actually choose something called the leaders package. And it is ridiculous what I'm doing, but you can only do that when you are a positive prime VIP. It's not available to you if you're not a positive prime VIP first, right?
Okay.
Because you have to have integrity. You cannot actually understand a product and promote a product that you actually don't physically use yourself, right? You get that. I know everybody in this community gets that.
Okay, so hold on. I want to see if I got this right then. So if you upgrade to the VIP for $159, that's that you get the yearly, program where you can add your own pictures to it. You can do all that. But in addition to that, instead of you having to upload your pictures one at a time, you're going to have a session. Each person gets an actual one-on-one session or a live session with Mayumi or her team to be able to create your own pictures into there, like figure out what the target should be, done for you personal, right? So just for your own personal use. You get a 30-minute review. If you do it again next year, you get a one-on-one call with you, which is like crazy. You get 3 live group coaching calls. So like if you've liked this kind of brain stuff we've been talking about now, imagine 3 calls where Kim's going to share all the other brain stuff that's available without me interrupting her every 5 minutes. And you get the private Facebook group, and you get the opportunity to be a part of this opportunity to be a leader and create your own session that you can use for your own message. Because we've got a lot of coaches and energy healers and practitioners and fitness instructors and relationship coaches and money coaches. You could have your own session that you could have your clients use, and that could be a bonus in one of your packages. You could have them have positive prime with it. Like, did I miss anything? That's incredible.
No, you haven't missed anything, but there's more. Quick, let me go. All right.
Please,
so,
please.
You ready?
Yes.
Go to positive. No, after the webinar's finished, okay, you go to positiveprime.com, right? Go to positiveprime.com and you sign up for free today if you haven't already. Okay, so positiveprime.com. Now, please understand this. Positiveprime.com is a front-end consumer website, right? The actual software sits on a completely different piece of code. It's a different website on a different server. It's app.positiveprime.com, right? And the reason why I'm going to be basically saying this is because if you haven't already created a free account, do so. Then once you've done that, we'll go back here. It'll ask you to create an account. See how down in the referrer code, you train your brain. That's where you put train your brain in the referrer code. Can you see down here? Down here. So all your details, then train your brain. Then, can you see this app?
Yes.
positiveprime.com. When you are a member, this is actually the site you go back to all the time, app.positiveprime.com. So you don't have to go back to the home page, right? You don't have to go back to the consumer-facing website. So this is where you basically sign up. That's actually not my real address, by the way. Do not email me at that because you will not get a hold of me, right? That's just fake. That's for demonstration purposes. So once you are inside, you will see a navigational panel down the left-hand side. You'll see the word dashboard, my sessions, shop, ag credits, referrals, settings, the science, upgrade account. More will be added over the next year. Woo! All right, so once that happens, go and click on upgrade account and go and choose a VIP concierge service, and know this. All of what I'm saying to you as bonuses is available only because you've listened to this workshop. It's not actually written on the website, but we do have it written somewhere. Hang on. Okay. So you're going to go to upgrade account. You're going to go choose VIP concierge and you're going to subscribe. Now, know this. I have been at a long time in the past in a state where I could not have come up with $159 even if I tried. So if you want to choose the $19.99 a month, we will offer you all the bonuses, and all you have to do is do the $19.99 a month. And if you're smart and a business orientated kind of mathematical person, if you just, because things are tight at the moment, you can't do $159, you could do $19.99 and then make a note, and basically in 28 days, you could go and downgrade from that and upgrade to VIP, right? And we will track who you are, so we will know. So you don't have to pay $240 a year at $20 a month. You can actually end up paying $160 a year, right? That's how you could do it. Like, I like to figure things out. Now, once you're inside, I'll tell you what will happen, and you'll know that you've been successful and your subscription, your VIP-ness has been activated. You'll see this blue edit session. Once you've done this blue edit session, that means that you are a VIP. Woo! All right. this woman, she's a very famous coach in Hollywood. There's another whole story about who she recommended me to, a coach. We personalized his for him, Mayumi. I said to him, who are the producers you want to work with? Who are the directors you want to work with? Who are the actors you want to do projects with? What awards do you want to win? What are your favorite films? We went and curated all of these photographs to him. He got an out of the blue invitation to Sundance. Whilst he was there, he bumped into someone. He got an amazing opportunity to go to this incredible party. It just happened to be at the home of the famous producer that he really wanted. While he was there, he actually met this agent. He went to this meeting in Hollywood. On the wall was a poster of his favorite film. Like, this all happens in the quantum. So I will tell you something. I've gone through a process called editing, and editing, your most ideal luxury travel. And listen to me, I literally offered this to professionals just around about Christmas, New Year's. I'm happy to offer it to professionals, not to everyone. You can pay for it if you're not a professional. But what I did was I literally sat in people's accounts. They gave me their username and password, and then they saved their password, and I edited their sessions for them.
Wow.
And I uploaded 1,000 of the most exquisite luxury travel around the world bucket list photographs. Now I'm going to tell you what happened. Because I'm positively primed, out of the blue, my auntie offered Cameron and I a free holiday in Fiji, which actually my parents are going on because I'm busy. But
oh my gosh.
You need to know that once you go through this editing and personalizing process, I promise you, you do not need to wonder how these things are going to manifest for you. They will. I never in a gazillion years would have ever conceived of my auntie gifting us a holiday in Fiji.
Isn't that so amazing? Like, don't you just love how it works out? I have to say one thing really quickly. For those of you who are trying to sign up and you're still having trouble because you're getting a 504, I'm saying this verbally so that anybody listening on replay, if you have this trouble, write to Mayumi at positiveprime.com and she will get you sorted out. So it's M like Mary, A-Y like yoga, U-M like Mary I, Mayumi at positiveprime.com. It's also in the chat. So get sorted out with her. That would be the best way to do it. Kim, we have two people who, or at least one person who got this through Life Transformation Summit. Should I send them to Mayumi as well? They would rather, how can I get this upgrade? Okay, I'll let you sort that out. If I were you, Lena, I would write to Mayumi and see if she can sort that out. Yeah, so Mayumi.
Mayumi at positiveprime.com. You can also reach our team at support@positiveprime.com. Support@positiveprime.com. Let me also say this because it's actually a really good admin point. If you created an account and you are actually a part of Dana's community and you came here by her invitation, please send us a report and we will actually manually go and make sure that you get the Train Your Brain session. So
yeah, we've got a few people saying that they haven't. So that's cool. Thank you. Mayumi at Positive Prime. Thanks for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you are, and this happens, just say someone watches this in 3 months or 6 months, then, you know, if you are part of Dana's community, we will honor this. So I want you to know that once you've pressed edit, something will happen and this will be blank, but you'll add a new image. See this add a new image down here, and this is where you click and you add a new image. And then once you add a new image, basically it pops up and it says, you know, do you want to choose a file? And the answer is yes. And so I basically went to photos, and this is actually, you know, in my iPhoto program, and I've already got them all categorized into favorites. And then you can go and choose 10 and you can upload them, right? And so once you do that, you upload them, the little round circle goes around and around and around, you're uploading, then you go and select them. And once that's my pussycat, no, it's actually Cameron's pussycat, even though she sleeps on my side of the bed. And, you know, that was a magnificent meal that we had. And so you select all and then you press save, okay? And then what actually happens is you go back to your dashboard and you go and watch the session that you have just edited. So in your VIP package, you can edit as many sessions as you like, and you can edit every single session differently.
Kim, so, I've got to tell you something kind of fun. Can I share my screen and show something fun, or will it screw this up?
yes. Bear with me. Let me get
Because
out of
here's the thing. I want you to understand the power of this, because there's a really great little service out there called Fiverr, F like Frank, I, V like Victor, ERR.com, where you get stuff done for $5. So I'm going to show you what I had done for $5. Hold on one second. I
Love it.
thought to myself, like, you know, my hair, like which star does my hair kind of closely look like? And I went out and I went to Fiverr and I took a picture of Jennifer Aniston. Can you see this picture of Jennifer Aniston? Right? Can everybody see that, or am I not sharing the right screen?
No, we can see it.
Okay. And I did this. Can you see that
Oh
now?
my goodness, I love
Right? So even if you have a big dream that you say, how am I going to see myself on the TED stage? Or how am I going to see myself on Oprah? Or how am I going to see, you know, this happen or that happen? You can create pictures for like $5 to throw in there of the things that are your biggest dreams that seem like they're never going to happen, and put them in your movie. Isn't that funny?
Okay,
She's
no,
got
that
a
is,
better body.
Dana, do you know, okay, so because you go to that trouble, that becomes reality, right? No wonder you are who you are. And people go, oh, I want to be like Dana. Do like Dana, all right? If you want to be like Dana and me, do like us. That means that we actually physically do it. So I actually said this to someone, Dana. I literally spent hundreds of hours going through all of these amazing websites of these amazing hotels, and I, you know, curated this collection. And if I'd have paid a VA for that, a $5, it would have cost me $3,500 just to pay somebody, right? And then to upload them into my account. And so what I actually went out there and did, because now I've got this collection, I said, okay, I'm happy to actually upload my collection into yours if you want, of this bucket list, if you want, but you only for professionals and only.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay,
right.
So on that note, and Kim, I'll let you share your screen while you're getting it back up. I want to answer this question. So Jen asked the difference between the personal and the professional. And so everything we've been talking about for the most part here is the $159 a year, the VIP membership. But Kim has added a bunch of extra bonuses just because you're in this sandbox. So all that extra training, like the 3 hours of, you know, more stuff on the brain, all the extra kind of bells and whistles she's putting in for us. The professional is an upgrade that you can get after you're in the website. And that is for somebody who is, you know, you want to make your own special message to yourself. Go ahead, Kim, you can talk again about that.
Okay, so great clarification. First, you must become a VIP or be a signature member, okay? So either yearly or monthly. You must. That's the initial qualifying. Then once you're a VIP, you can actually be one of the 50 who take advantage of this special leaders package. Wait, I'm really nearly there, okay? So last year, because there are a lot of people in your community, Dana, who actually became professionals last year. So I don't want any of them to miss out on anything that is really amazing, right? So last year, what we did was we said that you could have a session, and the price, instead of it being $899, was actually $450. And a lot of people took that. They really loved that opportunity. So that was a huge saving. And then we threw in the certification. But what I've actually done this time is I've not only bundled the session and given you a gift of the certification, I'm actually giving you the API player for your website inside the package, and it is not $650. And so for all of the professionals who are already professionals, they have an extremely short window of opportunity to actually secure their player for their website. So the code that actually puts their session on their website, they have this opportunity, because I don't want them to feel like they had to pay $650 and this new group don't, right? So the truth is that we're giving you the certification so that you don't have to pay it. It's included, but that's because I want you to understand every single nuance of the science of neuroscience, positive psychology, change management, and the quantum stuff, so that you can actually, and guess what? If you're a VIP, you can get that whole leader package for only $699, or you can pay for it monthly at $60 a month for 12 months.
Okay, hold on, hold on. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything there. Go back to the other slide. Because are you saying the certifications included with this?
Yes.
The holy, I'm not going to swear, but I thought a swear word. Unbelievable. That's crazy. So you're going to do the certification. They can have it on their own website. They can create it with their own personal message. And that's everything as long as you're a VIP for $6.99.
Correct. Or
Wow.
$60 a month, and that's
Or
available.
$60 a month. Okay.
Now, the truth is, if you are a professional and you want to hold yourself out as a professional and you want to be a part of the affiliate program, let's just say that you coach other coaches, or you're a money expert and you coach other people who are money coaches, or you're a relationships expert or a parenting expert, or you're a direct sales leader, or you're a teacher, or you're a manager in an organization, right? In order for you to maintain your professional status and be included in the continual education, you must maintain your VIP subscription. So people go, what do I have to do forever? Well, you have to maintain your VIP subscription, which is only fair enough that you stay current with the product, right? So go become a VIP first. And I will tell you, because of the actual production, so we at Positive Prime, we curate 1,000 slides that resonate with you, your brand, your message. We guide you through the process. We pay for, we gather the 800 photographs that resonate with the essence of your message. We do that. We put it into the code with the proprietary formula, and we create your session for you. So we produce it and then publish it for you and then give it to you for your website. So you don't have to do any of that. You just have to fill out a form and give us a Word document with the most amazing mantras and instructions and suggestions. And I will tell you, this is for your commercial purposes, for your professional purposes, right? This is for you to use. Let's just say you want to gift it to your little league team, or you want to do one for your child's classroom. We've got a whole heap of stories around all of that. Okay, Dana, I can see you doing this.
No, I just wanted to say on that note, I don't want people to discount the value of having you curate those pictures, because, remember that there's a lot of brain science that go into the pictures, like the tree canopies, like the Duchenne smile, and imagine the hours and time that Kim and her team have put in getting these pictures. Like, I know I even just go look for a picture for my show. I spend an hour on Deposit Photos looking for one picture for my graphic. It's like, if I had to pick the 1,000 pictures, it would never get done. So
well, and not only that, Dylan, you also have to have the rights to use it commercially, right? So most people would never be able to afford. When people say to me, do you really sell these sessions for $5,000? Are they really valued at $5,000? Absolutely they are. You're right. It's not just the intellectual property that's in the formula. It is, in fact, 800 images, and it's also our graphic design team that is actually doing your 200 statements, right? Now, because you've all hung in there and you're still here, I want to actually gift you something extra. And every single person who signed up as a VIP last year, this is for you too. All right. I don't want you to go, oh, everyone else getting more. Okay. So this is what makes me really, really happy. We have created something extra for all of our VIPs. And I actually do run health retreats and have done for a very long time, and absolutely leverage and harness all of my experience and expertise from the spa industry, right? So every single VIP is basically getting a retreat program that is, where did it go? A retreat program, and the entire value of all that is offered here today is a legitimate $18,000 or more, right? So in addition to that, you're actually going to get, in addition to the actual retreat that's online, that's 6 weeks, where I teach you everything that you may need to know about hydration and about sleep and about nutrition and about all sorts of other things. Guess what? You're going to be able to share your VIP status with 4 other people, and they can be included and they can come along to the online retreat. The only thing they will not get, is a one-on-one session with me, right? The only thing they will not get is a one-on-one session with me.
Okay, hold on. Who gets this? I just want to make sure I got this right, because this sounds just unbelievable.
Every VIP member that signs up in the next week.
So this is even at the $159 level, you can invite your friends to come to this, and you can do this online retreat. Wow, that's unbelievable.
Dana, I'll tell you who inspired me, Dr. Mark Hyman. Do you know he did this huge new project that said that people trying to make real changes in their health, right, they succeeded in community, and there are some magic numbers, right? So Sean Acor talks about this book in his Big Potential, that's his new release. They've done an incredible piece of research at Google. I could go on and on and on about this, but last year I said that you could have one accountability partner who is in your family. We actually know that the science is better if you have more than one. So I basically want to make sure that this is split by 5 people.
Holy cow. So people who are asking, like, here's some of the questions that came in, like, will this help my kids if they're learning? Or will this help if my child has autism or sensory disorders? Or can somebody use this who has PTSD? Or if you have members of your family who have any of this, and I'm assuming the answer is yes, it will help with any of those things, but I'm going to let you answer that directly. And I cannot believe you're going to let 5 people in at the same price. Like, that just blows my mind. Unreal. Okay, you're so generous, Kim. You're just so generous. It's amazing.
Yes. The answer is yes. And also make sure that you actually do consult your medical professional, right? In any one of these issues. But yes, we actually do have incredible case studies of children on the spectrum. We have incredible case studies of people with PTSD, with manic depression, with anxiety disorder. I am not saying that this is a medically approved intervention. I am going to tell you that we are actually gearing ourselves up for some research, because I do want that to be the case within the next 5 years. I do actually want us to be proven as a medical intervention. All right. But what I'm kind of trying to tell you is that you get the online retreat program, which is worth $500 alone, right? Plus you get the signature program, which is worth $200. Plus, because we're actually giving this to all of you for the family, it's actually a whole heap more value. This is what we cover in the online course. Everything you need to know about how to do your strengths, more about pro-social behavior. We're definitely going to be talking about feelings and thoughts in week 1. In week 2, we're going to be talking about hydration and sleep. In week 3, we're going to be talking about nutrition and exercise. In week 4, we're going to be talking about allied, complementary, and alternative philosophies and approaches. In week 5, we're going to be talking about random acts of kindness and vision boards and gratitude journals. You'll be all over that by then. Now, I'm not sure that everybody understands this, that your actual VIP subscription gives you enough credits to claim 2 sessions a month, right? So at the end of every month, you get 240 credits, so you can actually go and acquire 2 more sessions, so you grow your library. Your brain, from a neuroscience point of view, needs novelty. You need new content.
Yeah, and Kim, I have to repeat it. I'm not just doing this because of the accent. I really want people to understand the benefit of this is that when you sign up just for being here, you get Train Your Brain for Abundance, right? And so you've got a really nice movie you're often started, or positive prime session, you're often started. But some of you want to lose weight. Some of you want relationships. Some of you want more happiness. There's all these different topics available, and you get to add 2 movies a month at the VIP level. I mean, you've got so much in this, Kim. I just don't want any of it to get lost, because it's just amazing.
Right. Now, because all of you are going to have a half-an-hour session with me, you're going to get to know me. And if you want some more, you don't have to pay the real price, but it's only if you're a VIP. You actually get to book additional, because a lot of people go, oh, no, now I really want more of you. And I go, oh, that's really great, but I've got a very limited amount of time. But this is only available to VIPs. Don't worry, I've written this. So that when I say that this package for $159 is worth like 20 grand, I mean it, right? And this is actually the numbers. Just buying 2 sessions per month per person times 5 people is, you know, more than $2,000 a year. Now, what I haven't told you is that we actually, for VIPs and subscribers who are in the signature, we get four sessions and we mix them and merge them together, right? And we call them super sessions. And so when you are an advanced positive primer, what you want is you want to integrate into one session the best of 4 different sessions. And so we actually have these things called themed mixes. They're like super mix sessions.
They're
and
awesome,
one is
by
just
the
on
way.
finances, one is just on relationships, one is just on health. And that's actually how I watch it. Shh, don't tell anyone. No, of course, I'm an advanced positive primer. All right. Now, finally, as I alluded, there is an invitation-only opportunity for you to win a retreat in Australia, and it's only open to VIPs and professionals. And because we have gone well and truly over the time allotted, I'm actually going to do, only for those of you who are a VIP, I'm going to do a special quick webinar. Yeah, it's going to be quick, where I'm going to explain to you the rules and regulations for how this could be you, that we could be paying for you to come down under in October and actually come to Serafini Mind Spa, and that's the real beach. All right, so you must have some.
Now, Kim, is that for professionals only, people who upgrade past the 159 level, or anybody who, if you're, as long as you're a VIP, you have an opportunity, and it's a really doable opportunity, by the way, to get this trip, all expenses paid, to Australia just by sharing Positive Prime?
Yes, and do you know what, Dana? You know what about the word doable? Given that everybody has experienced how generous I actually am, I want you to know that the rules and regulations, the terms and conditions for this are also me being generous. All right? That's because I want you to all come down under. No, because it's going to be really good for your soul as well, and it's going to be really healing. All righty, so anything else? Does anybody want anything else?
Okay,
No?
well, oh, you mean other questions?
Okay, the certification, because people are going to ask, like, so I'm going to prevent Mimi for answering 20,000 questions. The certification, this was the schedule last year. We do positive psychology and neuroscience for change. We learn all about positive affect and Professor Sonia Lubomirsky's work. We do all of the Dr. Barbara Fredrickson Broaden and Build stuff. We do all of the Professor Kim Cameron heliotropic effect stuff. We do, I love it how I call it stuff. We do everything that you need to know about neuroplasticity. We do everything that you need to know about accelerated learning and about cognitive dissonance and being in alignment and strengths-based coaching. We do everything that you need about social behavior, about health and wellness, and about the future, like artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms and virtual reality and blah, 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 but that's only available to professionals, okay? And then we finish with a whole heap of case studies of how we've actually really used Positive Prime inside organizations. And that is because once you become a certified Positive Prime professional, you have the rights. You are then authorized to go and basically stand up as a Positive Prime expert and actually go and earn an income as a consultant, as a trainer inside organizations, sharing your new knowledge. And we want to enable you to do that so that you can sell into organizations, them having their own sessions for their own culture programs or their own leadership programs or their own whatever.
And Linda Camden can speak to this. She's been on the thread a lot here, and she can tell you how awesome all of that is, because she's gone through the sessions and learned a lot. And it is, as you can see from Kim here, those are sessions where you want to listen to them 2 and 3 times, because you just get so much information and you feel like such a smarty pants about the brain by the time you're done. It's unreal. Right, Linda Camden, am I right? Yes, for sure.
Okay, so positiveprime.com/absolute-abundance-replay/. All right, so who wants to grab that? I can grab that, copy that, and let me put it here into the chat. I know that we've lost a lot of people.
Oh, thanks. That's the, actually, surprisingly, considering that we have been here almost 2 hours now, almost everybody has stayed. So you can all just give yourself a big pat on the back and go,
I know.
I know, you're amazing. You are amazing. Okay, that was my amazing dance just for you, not to be seen anywhere else. Kim, this is, oh, hang on, Kim, I think you accidentally sent that just privately to me, so you might want to just resend that to everybody. This is the replay link for this. So it might take a minute for this to process, but then you'll be able to go watch the replay there, and you'll definitely want to rewatch the offer. Here are the key points to keep in mind here. If you go in and upgrade for $19.99 a month, you can get a couple of sessions a month for that, and you can edit your sessions. However, if you're able to do the full year at a time at the $159, you get all of those extra bonuses that Kim's talking about. You're able to bring on your family members. You get the 3 one-hour coaching sessions, 1-hour live group coaching sessions where you learn more about the brain and you understand how all of this works. You get a one-on-one session with Kim. You get the review session with Mayumi's team, so you can actually pick a topic and target your photos and have them all done for you into the program. And you get the private Facebook group where you are able to, engage with other people doing this. And of course, just like, all these other, the retreat, the online retreat, where you can go and learn about wellness and health. I mean, so many, I can't even keep track. There's so many bloody benefits, Kim. You're just amazing. And from that point, if you do the 159 session, from that point, you are able to choose to be a professional in this. So you can look at it and you can say, would this benefit my business? And I'll tell you why I recommend that if you have any business where you're coaching people, that you really give some serious consideration to the professional session. Is if you know how powerful this is for your brain and you know how rapidly change can happen, you're treating people, you're helping people with their issues, you're helping them make change, you're helping them transform. This is going to make you a hero because it's going to accelerate your client's transformation. And this is going to be an added benefit that's going to have such high value that you can offer to your clients as a bonus. Everybody who is in here, you get my movie for free. Well, you could have your own movie that you give to your clients for free. And if you stick around with Kim after and join her for a call, and you'll understand how even having that, you're going to be able to get yourself a trip to Australia as well and a whole host of other benefits. So what is the deadline for January 26th? I think we are shutting the replay down and shutting this offer down because Kim's only got, first of all, 300 spots, which is unreal anyway. So it may sound like a lot, but they're going to go fast. So if you're interested in this, I would definitely sign up for the VIP as quickly as you can, because I would not expect her to do more than the 300. So get signed up for the 159 so that you get in on the first 300. And then when the replay is gone, this offer is gone, because it's just, first of all, it's so good, but it's just, you got to have a stopping point and a reason to act now. So we all know that. That's marketing, right?
And before we run away, Jen has basically said the certification is the bonus to the professional package. So on that replay, on this page, replay page, you will actually see that down here is the Positive Prime Leaders Professional Package. This is what you basically click to, and it's going to get you effectively over to it's going to get you over to this leader package, and over here in this leader package is where you actually process the $699 or the $60 a month. Okay, and so what it includes is those three things: your own session valued at $5,000. The normal standard price for somebody to have a session actually produced by us is $899. You get the player, which is a very fancy piece of code called an API for your website. That's valued at $5,000. Our normal standard price just for one of those, for one session, is $297. And you get the certification included. All right, so that's the $699, and you can see here. So if you need us, reach out to us.
Yes.
We're here for you. Mayumi and I will work all weekend because we know that you will need a response. Please remember, we are down under, okay? So you may send us an email and we may be asleep, and we may also be responding to lots of other people. So if we signed up till last year, what do we do? Your subscription will renew. If you signed up last year, when your subscription renews, you will be able to add 4 other people to your account. Like, I want you to have that as well. And if you signed up for the VIP last year and you're not yet a professional, you can take advantage of this leaders package if that's going to actually appeal to you.
Yeah, and the other thing about the leaders package, like some of you might say, well, I'm not a professional. I may not create my own movie today or tomorrow, but maybe down the road. But the thing to consider too, I forgot about that certification, because as you know, as a coach, when you've got those certifications, it's going to give you the tools and the things you need to be able to shift and help your clients as well. And so that's a really, I mean, that's, you know what people pay for certifications, Kim? I mean, it's so much to pay for certifications out there. I know, and you're giving this as a just a bonus for being a leader in the group. It's, I can't. It's unreal.
I've actually just reviewed a certification. There's a woman that I effectively have known, and she kind of runs in the same circles with us in terms of the corporate world here in Australia. I know for a fact we teach more than her certification program. She teaches only HR managers, and it's $10,000 for her first weekend. And there are 3 weekends. It's a $30,000 investment for each company to pay one HR person to come and get the certification that effectively I know for a fact we deliver so much more.
I know, and that's not abnormal. Like, it's not abnormal. So for you to give the actual, to be able to create your own positive prime session and to be certified in positive psychology on top of that, that's just unreal. So, but the ticket is, because there is a lot, get the 159 package, start with the 159 package, get in there and, you know, talk to Kim's team. You can reach out to Mayumi. You'll get emails about this. Some of you are wondering, should you upgrade or what's included or all that stuff. Just know once you're in at the 159 level, the rest of it starts to make sense, because then you've only got one other choice. Do I upgrade to the higher level or not? And so, and that will also expire, because again, you know, with this certification, there's a start date. People start, they do these sessions. Same with the 159 session. It expires because there's a start date for the online retreat. And so get your family members and together and say, hey, we're going to do this together. This is something that's going to help everybody in the whole family. It's just unreal. Just unreal. I'm really, I don't even know what to say, Kim. I'm speechless, which never happens. I'm just trying to process what you just did. I'm just going like, I cannot believe, if I can even imagine myself sitting and doing 300 calls. Like, I thank you. That's all I can say. I just thank you so much for doing this. You always surprise me, and this is no exception. And we just can't believe that you're offering this to us. You're the best. You're just the best.
Thank you, Dana. And do you know, I sit here incredibly privileged, because a lot of what Positive Prime has become has just meant that, you know, I just made an offer here in Australia just on my own private Facebook group for $1 million worth of Positive Prime just to bushfire victims. So this allows me to basically be in alignment with my Dharma, and you help facilitate that. And I cannot tell you how grateful I am. I cry tears of joy that I got to know you. You're such a special human being, and what you do on the planet is required. And everybody who's in your community, like when I'm out there, I say, look, there are lots of really amazing people, but there are very few people whose communities I want to be in, and I want to be in your community because of the way that you make us all feel. So,
oh, Kim, that's a big old feel good. And I know everybody here, we just feel that, the feeling the love, and we're sending it right back to you, Kim, because you're just something special. It's unreal. And Lena, I want to tell you that yes, even if you've been on antidepressants for 20 years, this works, right, Kim? Absolutely. This goes for learning disabilities, even if you have a learning disability somebody asked about.
Absolutely. Now know this, a lot of us intensify what we do. And so you might want to watch 3 different sessions on 3 different topics, one in the morning, one at lunchtime, and one in the evening. We have actually done some research with this. It's called a focus band, and it is actually a medical grade EEG. And the founder of this company and I are friends, and so we're actually doing some research, and we're actually doing some programs inside corporations here in Australia. But we know for a fact that with a Positive Prime session, we actually put the brain into delta and theta thinking, which is a bit like self-hypnosis. And most people only get into theta wave thinking as they're actually just waking up or as they're drifting off to sleep. But most people, as they're waking up and drifting off to sleep, aren't conscious enough to press play on some kind of subliminal programming tape or cassette or, you know, I don't know, MP3 these days, gosh, I show my age. But you know what the other funny thing is, right? Like the reality is that you need to be able to do that at any time of the day or night, 24/7. And that's what a positive prime session does. That is why we're really starting to become well known in hypnosis circles, or starting to become very well known in mindfulness meditation teacher circles and yoga circles and so forth, because some of what we've been able to do is prove that you watch a positive prime session and you get yourselves into these other brainwave states, which actually accelerates learning. So I just know for a fact that people who have embedded destructive behaviors can change them, not overnight, but they can definitely have them completely transmuted. And all you need to do is watch several sessions. As a VIP member, you are going to learn more than enough. We're going to provide you with more than enough resources. And we also do so inside that retreat program, because a lot of my experience in retreat programs are people who come to health retreats who have addictions, and they may have ended up with depression or anxiety because they're actually an alcoholic, right? And so I don't want to go deep here, but what I can tell you is I've almost seen it all, and I've tried to create something that's very elegant, very sophisticated, that can work just with flashing flashcards in front of somebody, even when they're in a passive state, right? Because that's what's real for people who really need help, right? Now, I will tell you, when I am super stressed out by something, like you telling me there was a 504 error before, like seriously, my flight, fight, freeze, like activation just went on overdrive. I, like everybody else, need to manage my cortisol levels, right? I have to. And so I still use positive prime like it is critical to my survival, because I understand the science. Like, you don't need to ask me to watch this. And like, imagine that. I have to tell you, not only did I get offered a completely gifted trip to Fiji that was totally luxurious, in the same week, I won a trip to Costa Rica.
Wow, no way. Look at that. That's so cool. I just flipping love that.
Right.
You know,
and it wasn't trying.
Yeah, and I tell you the thing too, Kim, I think that's important here that can't be overstated is that because of the speed that the sessions are going past, and because, so you can start out, you can watch it slowly, and it's nice sometimes to watch it slowly, but you can speed it up. So you're watching all these thousands of slides in like 3 minutes. Now what happens is that no matter what issues you've been dealing with, you're not talking yourself out of them anymore. What you're doing is your conscious mind doesn't have time to agree or disagree with what it's seeing. So it's going straight into the unconscious mind. So especially if you feel like you're somebody who's had a challenge with thinking positively, maybe you were raised in a negative environment, maybe you're currently in a negative environment, you know, this can really be a lifeline to make change without having, it's, you know, the word effortless is overused, but it really is effortless. You just have to sit there and just watch and let it go into your brain. And that's it. 3 minutes. If you can do it more than one time a day, awesome. But if not, it's enough, you know?
It absolutely is. Thank you to everybody. You are so generous. I love this. This is actually a very generous, spirited community. You've been generous with your time and your attention. And I love you all. I will look forward to getting to know you all. I do have to say this, I really do have to say this. I don't want to end on this note, but even though the deadline is the 26th of January, there's only 300 places, all right? And there's only 50 places in the leaders package, because we can't produce more than 50 sessions, right? The sessions take us an enormous amount of resources inside our team, time, energy, effort, images, et cetera, graphic designers and so forth. So we cannot accept more than 50. So I would say do not delay. Sign up either right now or within the next couple of hours, or certainly by tomorrow morning. I don't want you to miss out. I really don't. But I can't do more than 300 101s, and I can't do more than 50 sessions. So I am limited by resources, infrastructure. That's it.
Yeah, this is no joke. This is for real. Like, if you're leaning toward doing this, really act, because it's something that you're going to be able to get the benefit of right away. You're going to be able to get in there even before you have a chance to have your personal session with Kim or do your done for you session or your reviews, you can start watching this right away and start getting the benefit and start being a part of the online retreat that she's offering, being a part of the group calls that she's offering. I mean, it's immersive, and this is where change happens. Like she was talking about earlier, immerse yourself, surround yourself by people who think like this, and there's no better way. And if you can't be there live, you can watch your session every day and you're still immersing yourself. So Kim, it's so good. You're the best. This was you. I really didn't think you could surprise me more than you surprised me in the past that you did. I'm going to be rocking in the corner trying to process all this by the end of the day. But I cannot wait to get this out to everybody. If you have friends who haven't come in and watched, get on the replay. I'm going to watch the replay. I'm sure you are too, just to track all the good information that came through. Kim, have a great rest of the day in your world, and everybody else too. Oh gosh, I just feeling so much love for this community right now. I thank you so much for being here. And it feels so good that we've got this common language now to talk about. So, mwah. Sending big kisses to you and to everybody else. Thanks for being here, y'all. Let's rock this, huh? Go out to Fiverr and get your pictures done. You could be on Ellen. Bye, everybody.
I need to talk to you about that. I want my face in that photo. I want you to tell your Fiverr, take my face and put it in.
I will do that.
I'm serious.
I will do that. I'll give you the guy that did it. I'll give you the name. Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Love you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.